Hi, this is Paul from globaltradingsoftware.com, and this is a trading tutorial using our new xBrat Range Breakout trading indicator. So this is for opening ranges, whether it's jobs data like yesterday, the New York Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange, specific data points. And I'm going to look at the ES Emini Futures from yesterday. I did trade the short here. I finished for the day, but there was a great long here, so I wanted to show you and teach you how to use this opening range indicator. Very important. A couple of things. I'm just going to actually take off the manager a second here. Just want to go pure on this. So yesterday, again, what we can do is have we can literally change what data points we want to do. So Thursdays we got that initial jobless claim, so I wrote jobs data in there, put the hour, and I wanted it to show it. I can, I've got one set up for Fed, for example, the defaults there for Europe, London, New York Gold, New York Stock Exchange. They can all be changed, change the names of the labels. The main thing is with the labels, when that first 15-minute candle, so we're looking at 15 minutes on indexes, when that first 15-minute candle closes for that opening range, and that opening range for the job data was there, this one printed yellow, so there was no real trading opportunity. So that's like a bias, so it's either long or short, so there's no real sort of bias. It's not telling you to go long or short. However, we then break out of that jobs data opening range, and we've got the opening range for the New York Stock Exchange open here. That closed red, so the label's red and the opening range is red, and this is the trade I took yesterday with my inner circle. We took 70 ticks out of this short, which is always a quick trade in that first instance after that first initial 15 minutes. The bias was red. We can only look for the short breakout there, and it happened. Great trade. Then it starts to turn around, comes back into that opening range. You see the opening range bias then turns green. Okay, so we have the opening range defined for the New York Stock Exchange, but also that jobs data opening range as well. So for me yesterday, this is how to continually use this opening range play. We get that first initial opening range, we get that massive move, but we've still got this range of price, which is really important. And the indicator lets you know that actually now this is actually bullish. You're only looking for a long. So if it comes out and breaks that range, go long. And this is what it did. For me, because we have the jobs data range as well, if we didn't, I'd be going long out of here at this point here at 4,698.25 out of that New York Stock Exchange open. But actually, we got that jobs data range. To be honest, the data there's no real reaction, so it's pretty flat. So we're going to go. The long would be outside of this jobs data range for yesterday. And we can see that just kept going, and this is the London open range now. So this is ES and the London. We see yellow at this moment in time. There's no real trade. We don't want to go short or long. It could stay in that very narrow range for the rest of the European session. But the main thing is those short ones, we always, right at that opening range, we look for 50 to 70 ticks on indexes. We're looking at 30 to 40 ticks on metals and oil and things like that. They're on the 5 minute, but this one's on the 15 minute. We got 70 ticks out of it. I think it went 86 in the end. But when we come back through, and we either test and come back down, or we go through, in this case, and we're using it to go long, this is where the manager comes in. I'm going to put links for both indicators in the description of this video, because then we're looking for we've got the long, we've got the breakout, it pulls back down, but it pulls back on lower than average volume. Look at all these dots underneath here. The cloud then starts to go green. So this is the cloud for the manager. It's telling you to stay in the long. We come up, we go sideways. The dots underneath, the blue dots, lower than average volume. Look at that push up again. We pull back down overnight, lower than average volume. Okay, now we start to get higher than average volume. This is the time we got 1, 2 cyan dots above and 2 red candles, that's the time to take your profit on this trade here. Okay, it's probably going to come down. So two trading instances there. That initial opening range where we get that massive volatility in that breakout, and we always look on indexes for about 50 to 70 ticks. Sometimes we can get even 100 ticks, even more. But that was the move. You can't really use the manager for that. It's just a massive move. It's a breakout. It tells you, because the tag has closed on that first 15 minutes, closed red. The actual zone itself, that opening range, is red. Only look for the shorts. That was the great trade. But then when it starts to come back through and that opening range turns back to green, you've got to look for the long breakout of that initial opening range, which it did. These are longer term plays though, later on in the day. Then you bring in the manager to help manage that trade and not panic on the pullbacks. Okay, if these pullbacks were higher than average volume, you would be getting out, but they were all lower than average volume with these blue dots underneath. The cloud for the manager starts to turn to green and it starts to move apart. We get some moves up, we pull back down again, it's lower than average volume, we get higher than average volume, moves up again, and this was a great trade into the close or overnight. And just using the xBrat opening range trading indicator. If it's not available for your platform, please send us an email at info@globaltradingsoftware.com and we'll let you know when your indicator, the platform, is released. We are developing for lots of platforms. Check out the links below and see if it's available right now. And the manager is really there to help you not panic and stay in and maximize that trade. So we got 70 ticks in the morning. This later trade coming up here is another 75 ticks. So that's 150 ticks on ES in less than 24 hours using this opening range trading indicator, the xBrat opening range indicator. Hopefully this helps for our users who've already got it, and also those prospective users, because this is important. It defines the range but also defines where you should be going, long or short. But if it's yellow, stay away. Okay, speak to you really soon.